They descended from the stars in golden ships, voices dripping with arrogance and thunder. The Varnacs, 10 feet tall, for arms, eyes like molten sapphire, and an ego to match. They didn't just invade Earth. They announced themselves like celestial kings returning to claim what was owed. "We are your gods," they had declared, their message echoing through every screen, every comlink, every satellite. "Worship, and we shall spare your species the pain of ignorance." At first, Earth's leaders hesitated. These weren't simple conquerors. The Varnacs moved planets like stones on a board, held stars hostage, and extinguished resistance with weapons that twisted time and tore through dimensions. They turned the Martian colonies into silence within seconds, and Venus's sky cities fell like glass. Humanity trembled, but only for a moment, because unlike the Varnacs, humans didn't build thrones in the sky, they built warships. And one of those ships was the HSS Shroud of Vengeance. Captain Rhea Morgan stood on the command deck, eyes locked on the holographic projection of the approaching enemy fleet. Her face was calm, expression unreadable, but her crew could feel it. A tension like a storm before lightning. "They still broadcasting that god garbage?" she asked dryly. Lieutenant Perez nodded, looping it on all channels. "Something about divine punishment." Rhea chuckled. "Divine, my ass." The Shroud of Vengeance wasn't Earth's largest ship. It wasn't the newest or the prettiest. But it had one thing the Varnacs didn't know: the Xyron Core weapon array, a secret technology reverse-engineered from a dead alien race who'd made the mistake of attacking humans a century ago. "Bring us within range," Rhea ordered. "Let's show them how humanity treats false gods." The Varnacs' mothership loomed like a continent in orbit, dripping with energy tendrils and gravitational distortions. Inside, High Lord Sivak lounged on a throne of living metal, amused. "They send a single ship?" he sneered. "Do they mean to amuse us?" His priest captains chuckled. "A warship named Vengeance. Typical of these carbon filths." Sivak stood, his 6 eyes narrowing. "No matter. Destroy them. Let their atoms serve as warning." The first volley from the Varnacs' fleet bent space around it. Even light seemed to scream. Inside the shroud, alarms blared as the blast skimmed the hull. Shields held barely. "Fire the core," Rhea said, her voice low. Perez blinked. "Captain, are you sure?" "It hasn't been." "I said fire it." Below deck, the Xyron core came to life, humming with alien frequencies. Energy swelled like a newborn star. Then the ship spoke. Not in sound, but in force. A lance of compressed dimensional energy tore through space and slammed into the Varnacs' mothership. One moment it was there, proud, radiant. The next, it simply wasn't. On every Varnac ship, silence fell. Priests dropped their censers. Officers stared at empty readings. The High Lord, their god, was gone. Annihilated. Not defeated. Not wounded. Erased. On Earth, people watching live feeds from lunar observatories gasped. Cities that had wept in fear now roared in triumph. The phrase began as a whisper on forums and subspace threads. "They bleed." It became a cry. "The gods bleed." Rhea stood again, brushing dust from her shoulder. "Target the rest." "What about diplomacy?" asked a new ensign, eyes wide. She smiled coldly. Diplomacy ended when they melted New Tokyo and called it divine judgment. The shroud moved like a ghost through their formation, unleashing the fury of a species that had learned war on a burning Earth, had grown among the stars, and never forgot what it meant to fight back. The Varnacs tried to run. They tried to beg. They tried to kneel. But gods don't beg. And humanity had no use for new religions. Hours later, a lone Varnac scout limped away, engines barely holding. Inside, the survivors whispered in broken tones to each other. "They are not gods," one muttered. "No," another replied, watching as Earth's defenses lit up again. "They are worse. They are humans." Epilogue. The Galactic Assembly, a circle of hundreds of species that had watched from the shadows, held emergency talks. "How could they defeat the Varnacs?" one ambassador gasped. An old, shriveled alien, who had once fought humans during the Europa conflict, answered gravely, "Because humans do not kneel to gods. They bury them." And the stars, once safe and silent, now whispered a warning. Never claim divinity in a universe where humanity sails.